Greetings. The topic is, should I repress my anger towards my spouse? The wording of this is very interesting, and there's a lot here that is going to be very important for you to understand. I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. Been doing this for close to 23 years. And my background, although I was a divorce mediator, the relevant background that I have is that I've been on a spiritual pursuit since 1972. That's a lot longer than you are old. And that includes doing things like introspection, studying various scripture, meditation. And so because I discovered, and I discovered this much later, after I stopped being a divorce mediator, marriage is a spiritual path that two individual souls who are soulmates take together. So my spiritual background has had a tremendous influence in what we present to people at the Marriage Foundation, in my books, in the courses that we have. So it's good stuff. It really is. It's useful because all of us are spiritual. Essentially, we're souls. We have a body and we have a mind, and we have anger. We don't have to have anger, though. So should I repress my anger towards my spouse? Well, let's start with, you should never express your anger towards your spouse, nor anyone else. Because anger is a problem that the individual is experiencing. It is not an excuse to hurt somebody. And expressing anger, as you know because you've been on the receiving end, is always hurtful. You got married in order to have this beautiful harmony with your soulmate and experience happiness and experience love. Isn't that true? So those, you might say, are the three pole stars for marriage: happiness, love, and harmony. Now, what happens if you make sure all of your behaviors contribute to those three? Then you will achieve those three. Question: when you're on the receiving end of someone expressing their anger, right or wrong, valid or not, how does it feel for you? Does it make you happy? Does it make you feel love? Are you feeling harmonious? And the answer is no. So why would you, who lives in a marriage where it's just the two of you, why would you ever want to introduce the negativity, the intensity of anger into your marriage aimed at your spouse? You wouldn't, is the logical answer. Why is it okay? Why do some people say it's okay? And they'll give you conditions maybe, or explanations of how you shouldn't repress anger. They don't know any better. They've been trained in Western psychology. Western psychology is fine for looking at conditions and having an explanation, but it is completely useless when it comes to governing our behavior in marriage. What should govern our behavior in marriage are the answers to those three goals. How do I increase our happiness, and mine too? And you don't become happier when you express anger. The opposite is true. You become more miserable. It's like getting on this anger train, isn't it so? So you don't want to introduce an expression of anger because it's toxic. It poisons the relationship. It destroys harmony. When there's anger, there is no love. They cannot be on the same platform together because they're kind of opposites, aren't they? What's the problem with repression? Because this is usually the biggest argument that comes from a Western psychologist and they don't understand, so almost all of them, they all think it's okay at times. It's never okay, absolutely never okay. There's always another way. So they say repression of anger, they make it sound like it's an acid within you, and it is. So you want to deal with that anger, not with what you think is causing the anger, because that's a whole nother topic, what really causes anger. But let's just say that some outer condition, some outer experience triggered the anger to erupt within you. You have free will. You do not have to be a victim of that anger. You don't have control over the outer world. So if you want to, you could let anything make you angry, and you could steep in that anger. If a policeman pulls you over and wants to give you a ticket, you better not let that cop have it, because you're going to get 2 tickets if you don't get cuffed and taken away. So we know we're able to control our tongue. We know we are able to, you could use the word repress, or you could use the word discriminate as to when to allow the anger to come out. I'll tell you, there's no time when it's okay. Not if you want to be happy. So this idea of repression causing toxicity within the consciousness is truthful, but the answer is not to let it out. The answer is to set it aside. At least set it aside for now. Now, in our courses, we teach how to eliminate anger altogether. And that's where you want to go. You're a human being. I'm going to change the subject for a second. It's still part of marriage. You're a human being. What does that mean? You're a soul. You have a body, you have a mind, but you're a soul. The nature of the soul, this is not a religious teaching, this is just the way it is. You're a soul. You're part of God. God is love. God is joy, wisdom, consciousness. You're up, chip off the old block. You have those qualities. That's who you want to be. It is literally your birthright to be constantly happy. We're not taught this, so we don't know this. And now you're in a marriage which is supposed to be nothing but liquid love flowing all over the two of you, making you so happy. But because we haven't learned, your soulmate situation has turned into cellmate situation. You need to rise above the anger. Should I repress my anger towards my spouse? You should never, ever allow anger to come out towards anyone. Nobody deserves the wrath that anger produces in our minds. And we are responsible, absolutely responsible, for how we behave, including, and I don't mean to be preachy, that sounded so preachy, didn't it? Oh my God, I'm sorry. I get going. But I don't mean to impose upon you these rules. These are guide rails for happiness, to know that we should never choose somebody out. We should never dump on anybody, but especially your spouse. You got together with them for love. You fell in love with them. You want your marriage to be so beautiful, don't you? Didn't you think when you got married, in spite of the fact that over 50% of all marriages ended in divorce, you thought, not this one. You felt so much love. But we are not taught how to make that happen. So I've written a couple of books. If your marriage is doing pretty good, get one of the books. It'll help you. Make sure that you get these videos when they come out, subscribe. And you have a lot to learn. I know, because I had a lot to learn too. So you should set aside the anger. Never let it get out there. Repression is not cool either, but those are not the two choices. Okay, let me put it that way. I want you to be happy in your marriage. I want you to be floating in your marriage. That's what it's meant for. And you can. You just have to learn. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation because I learned, and I want you to learn. God bless you. Like the video. Leave a comment if you want. I hope to see you again. Take care. Thank you.